Good afternoon, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader coming to you here on Wednesday, February the 18th. And we had a pretty good day today. I'm actually quite happy with today, despite being slightly red. We have a $300 red day. But I had a really good day. I followed the plan, had a great trade on my Apex accounts, up 440 per account. Had a couple losing trades on my take profit accounts, down 300 per account there, but I followed the rules and I really can't complain. The last trade of the day on the take profit accounts maybe shouldn't have taken that trade, but setup was good, and the stats on the week is what I'm really happy about. So let's actually just go there first. We'll look at TradeZella. Here's the today down 328. 16% win rate, but look at the average win to loss, 4. I have been wanting to get this type of a number for quite some time, and the change that I made on my ATM strategy that I talked about, I think yesterday, huge improvement. Average win today 442, average loss 110. So that skews that heavily in a positive manner. If I change this to this week and look at the weekly number, we are up 1,900, almost $2,000, 38% win rate. But look at the average win to loss, 3.5. Average win 334, average loser 94. This is what really helps move the needle. Really helps move the needle. I've really wanted to have this for a long time, and just kind of I don't know, for some reason didn't get there until I just had this realization that, hey, I need to hold my winners a little bit longer and set up an ATM that works. And so obviously it's doing that. So real quick, we only took a couple trades today, so this should be pretty simple and pretty quickly to get through. First one was that winning trade on my Apex accounts, and that trade was a break and retest of prior day high, one of the trades I really love. Break and retest of PDH, taking that long right here. Beautiful little hold there, wicking hold above the prior day high after I have the pullback, and just a great trade. Let's jump out to where that one was. That was on the Russell, actually. I was really not sure I was going to get anything on the Russell on my morning trade plan, but here you can see that stop loss was sitting here. I was in with, I think, 6 contracts, selling 3 here. Obviously, the stop goes to break even when we get to 1R. That's how the ATM is set up. And we get up to a full 4R profit target, which ends up as a net pretty much a 3R on this trade, off with half the position here, half the position here. So the average is sitting at 3R. And that is just huge. It is a huge win. And so really happy with that trade. That was just an awesome trade. It really was. And I think in the way I had been trading in the past is I would have taken this with less size, may have ridden it up to the top, but I would not have gotten out nearly with this much profit. So the other thing that's a huge factor that I really like is the fact that my stop goes to break even at 1R. That does bite sometimes. It does hurt me, and it hurt me on the first trade with my take profit accounts, which was the next trade of the day. We'll go there and I'll show you that. But this is something, it's just something we have to live with. That was this trade right here, a break and retest of the Friday high of day on the NASDAQ. Nice little hold, pulling back, several wicks holding, took the long entry there. If you go out to the, right here's that trade. And as you guys can see, this did activate my moving the stop. So the stop was sitting here, in right here. TP1 was somewhere up above here. I'm not quite sure where it was at the moment, but obviously the stop moved to break even, and we simply couldn't break above this barrier. Came back down, and as you can see, it stopped me out almost to the tick, and then the market continued to move. That was a little bit frustrating, but I also accept and understand that that's going to be the reality at times. Now, I would not have gotten to a 4R today on this trade. I would not have hit the second profit target. So the best I would have gotten out of this is a 150 profit if it hits TP1, or maybe a little bit more if I would have moved the stop up after TP1. But the only critique I have is I did hesitate a little bit on my entry here. Had I not hesitated, I would have gotten in a little bit more quickly, and then I would have survived that pullback and would have gotten the win. So that's the critique there, but is what it is. But again, I followed my rules. That's, I think, the big thing for me today, more than the red day. $300 red day is not a big deal, but it's the fact that I followed the rules. That is huge, 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 huge. The last couple trades were on the Russell. No, they were on the Dow Jones. I'll just show them here. So 2 trades that I took where I really had the $250 losses. I was looking for a break above this structure on the Dow Jones for a long today, and I think I made a mistake on my my levels, or my zones, if you will. So you can see that this was the entry here after we had a hold, and we just kind of bled and bled and bled and finally got stopped out there, and we had another break and a beautiful hold right here. That was a great setup. And it just, I did realize that I was longing into these highs, and that probably should have been the caution. So that's my critique on that one. That everything else was there, and we just simply got stopped out. So is what it is, down $300 across the TPT accounts. But I want to show you where I think I made my mistake. On the NASDAQ and on ES, I have really been monitoring this Wednesday low from last week and this Monday low from last week. And I had kept this level, as you can see right here, coming from yesterday's high of day up to this Monday low from last week. I think what I should have been doing is focused on this and this as a range, and this as a range. And if I do that, let me show you what that looks like. So let's just move this down, and then let's take this level. And I may even just leave this for tomorrow, and we'll set that at this low, and we'll set that at the Monday low. Now I want you to notice what happens if you go back to the 1 minute chart. See how this changes? So basically we had a break of this structure here, but we were really longing up against this Wednesday low from last week, and that should have been my caution. Had I had this level here, I don't take those trades at all, because I'm actually looking for this to break through this in order for me to take the long trade. So that may have been a little bit of a problem, but the other thing too, knowing that, is I did notice before I took this entry that we were up against these highs. And so a little bit of just some critical error, or a critique of my entries there. But again, overall, followed my trade plan, this trade here, I wanted to stop out at break even several times. I had multiple opportunities when it didn't go, and I decided I'm going to leave it. So, could I have saved 150? Yeah, but it's about following the plan, and I did that today. So looking at the week, obviously on the Apex accounts, we had a great week, 2 days, up 720 per account. That's awesome. I love that. I wish they were above 50,000, because then we'd really be moving the needle. Apex, yesterday we had about a $300 day. Today we're down just a little over 300 with commissions, so we're net negative by 30 some bucks. No big deal. Again, we can have 1 or 2 good trades over the next 2 days, and we were right back to green. That's what I love about this ATM strategy. Taking half a position off at 2R. So if here's the entry and the stop is here, for example, we're going to be taking off at 2R. We're going to sell half the position. Stop moves to break even after we get to 1R, and we have a free trade. If I get stopped out after we get to the first profit target, I've locked in 150, which is a 1R trade. So if I lose on the next trade, I'm down. I'm still at 0. And if this trade runs fully up to 4R, then we have a $450 profit on the trade, and we have set ourselves up to be able to survive a couple of losses before we give that back. So I really like this system. I really, truly do. If I deviate from this, you need to hold me accountable. Don't let me deviate from this, because these stats right here don't lie. They just don't lie. If I go to this week, these numbers just don't lie. And this is huge. This is a huge number for my style of trading. I really need to have a higher win rate, because sometimes a higher average win to loss, because there will be times when over here I don't have a high win rate and I need to be able to survive that, and that's why I need this higher average win to loss. So anyway, that's the trades from today. That's the update from today. Again, really happy with it. Small little red day. We can survive that, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. So thanks for following along. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I need to change this banner. I just noticed it. This is 10% off. QuantGuard has a 10% special right now. The 50% has ended. So, man, I appreciate you guys using my code, but I do want to just update you that that is changed. And also just thank you. I've just noticed you guys have really been using my code on Take Profit Trader, and I certainly do appreciate that. Thanks for supporting the channel, and thanks for being here. If you're new, hit the like and sub button, please, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree, or how your day went today. So thanks for following along. Have a great day. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and so long.